Hello, welcome to Drinks with Ron. I'm Ron, and man, I'm long-winded. I gotta cut these episodes shorter. I just keep finding more stuff. So let me just show you where I should have started. Here's the house, this yellow dump on 1135 Main. There's me near the fireplace, chilling out, all cool. Oktoberfest parties in the new basement. More of the same there. Yeah, here we go. Basement parties. Same basement. There's the living room, other side of the fireplace. That's quality. The mule rider, smelling what the Rock is cooking. Oh, Bradley. All right. Mule rider. Some chick is grinding the pole in my basement. Yeah, that's right there. This is a microcosm of 1135 Main. Mule rider wastedly staring at the camera while some incredibly skinny chick, barely dressed, grinds a pole. Oktoberfest, as Mock used to call it. There's this picture. I should tell that story, but I'm already rambling on too long. Oh, the aftermath of the party. That's my hallway. Dude woke up. I woke up to feet sticking out in the hallway. Yeah, that's the puke on the leg. That's quality. Beer bong in the basement. Various chicks. Yeah, so that's a brief rundown of Main Street. That's it in a nutshell. So, wasn't that enlightening? I've made, once again, another attempt at some sort of black and tan using just the Get the Fuck Out stout and 2 women. It's not bad. Not bad. But I thought we'll go back to the game we were playing in the last episode. I'll tell you a story and you choose your own lesson. I mentioned the mule rider and myself had planned on living in this house, and our third roommate, I guess I should probably give him some sort of name to make it easier. He was another musician. He was in a band. The band was called the Bomb Squad. They played in the basement because they were an actual band with equipment that had songs. Unlike us, we were a band in that we would get really drunk and play guitar and improv something, and the goal was that one day I'd be able to play bass along to improv and making shit up. That was it. These guys had drums and amps and pedals and shit. They were a real band. So there was a whole lot of, he played a few gigs while we lived there. One of the guys in the band actually wound up being on, it was another CW creation with Ashton Kutcher, I believe, was behind, Beauty and the Geek. And they would send a hot chick on a date with a bunch of goofy-looking guys and selectively edit. Well, apparently this guy made it onto there, and my connection with him, I wound up getting him exclusive interviews for our radio group after he was on the show. So, I mean, look at there, fanning out already. But there's some good-ass stories. I'm going to have to break this into 2 episodes. This was at Main Street, the 1100 block. Well, about 8-9 blocks down towards the bars, a Chinese restaurant had opened. Now, see, I never ate anything like that. It was like pizza, fast food. Chinese wasn't going to appeal to me because the problem is, if you don't know what you're ordering, you can't order something. You look at the menu and I don't know if I'm going to like that. How can I order a thing I don't know? And these guys had the buffet, and it was like the clouds had parted and the light came down, and it was like, oh, I can try all the things and find out what I like. These guys had sweet and sour chicken, but their version of sweet and sour chicken was essentially chicken, breaded, and deep fried, like little breaded nuggets. And they gave you those plain, and then a little cup of the red sweet and sour sauce. And that was it. And that became my jam. I would get that delivered to the house, and I ate it for just weeks on end. Well, one night, I got home after work and got absolutely hammered. So I needed some food, so I ordered my usual, got it delivered. 2-hand annihilated it, just alternating hand shoveling it in. And shortly thereafter, she all came back up. And after that, I couldn't eat my favorite dish from the place down the street no more because I had ruined it for myself. And the worst part was, well, I'll just let you pick your lesson from this. The lesson is too much of a good thing isn't good, or if you're going to get hammered first, you can't be sure if it was alcohol or if it was food poisoning. So you can't be sure it's not food poisoning if you're wasted. So you can bank that lesson. But I had some good stories. One of the other lessons I was going to teach you is that you don't need to participate in the doing of drugs to really absorb a lot of the good times related to drugs. For example, I have a lot of stories about people doing crazy things that aren't me. See, I didn't have to go be Hunter S. Thompson if you can live vicariously and be close enough to someone doing the crazy activity. And the bonus is you get to remember it. So we had a couple of these buddies who, for the sake of anonymity, we will call Sparky and Bernie. Because this guy Sparky and this guy Bernie, if you follow the references, they were heavy users of the marijuana is what I'm saying to you. They were a good time to be around. but I get the benefit of keeping all the stories without any of the attached shame. And one of the great ones of these guys, like I told you, Mule Rider and myself had a third roommate, Bomb Squad, and they were playing a Battle of the Bands gig at a bar, O'Neill's Pub. Actually, I think it was the owners were related to my wife somehow, up on the hilltop outside of La Crosse. So, of course, you know, we gotta go, and Sparky and Bernie gotta go. So, apparently, they must have showed up pretty early, and they had consumed a reasonable quantity of acid. So, Sparky and Bernie get there early, like the shit's still setting up. And apparently, the way the story has been related to me, they were sitting at a table, tripping their balls off in a dark, dark club in this hilltop outside of La Crosse. The weather was weird. Winds were swirling, clouds. It looked like it could storm at any second. Wind going nuts. Just one of those weird feeling days, and there they are, tripping their balls off in a dank pub. And apparently they got talking to each other, and oh, come on up, Ted. One of them says, "Yeah, look at that guy over there." Like, what about it? Like, see the dude in the trench coat? Yeah, doesn't he look like a vampire? And starts looking at him and says, yeah, he does. The trench coat and the long hair. That dude looks like he would totally be like a vampire in a movie. Well, then one of them, I don't know which one was, Sparky or Bernie, but the other one looks over and says, "Well, what about this dude? Who? Well, look at that. The shirt that he's wearing with this, and he's got the big necklace. Like, he'd totally be a vampire." So apparently, they sat at this table, not ordering beers, and one by one started pointing out everyone in the bar who worked for the place setting up the event all looked like vampires. Well, all of a sudden, all at once, they decide, oh shit, we're surrounded by vampires. We've got to get out of here before they figure out that we know that they're vampires. Gotta be cool. So they both like casually get up and start slowly making their way towards the door while they keep eye contact and scope the room like back to back, working their way out of the room in tandem. And the second they got out the door, ran like a motherfucker, spitting up gravel, jumped in the car, turned it on, floored it, shooting gravel everywhere, fishtail out of the lot, down the hill, into town. and they were not consumed by vampires. But let me tell you, I went to the Battle of the Bands, and my roommate Bomb Squad dude, they played well. They had like using wireless shit back when that wasn't a real common thing. Everybody was still patch corded, even at decent shows. They had the wireless junk. It was cool. Fog machine and whatnot. Yeah, I enjoyed the show. I also was not consumed by vampires. So your lesson from this one is either have a spotter when you do a whole fistful of hallucinogenics, or if you even think you might be in a vampire bar, run. Those are your two choices. But I'll close again. I'm already running way long. I mentioned in the last episode, Mule Rider had this girlfriend that he had just gotten together with. So we were all kind of hanging out because obviously it's at our place. So I got to know her a little bit. She was all right. She had friends. One time she brought one of her friends over, and it was after I'd had a barrel party, which, as I mentioned earlier, I had this trick where I'd switch off a half barrel of Ice House and clear my party out so I could keep leftover beer. So I did this. I kept a barrel around for a day or two. And this girl and one of her friends came over, and we decided to play the classic drinking game, Pass Out. And one of the aspects of the game is tongue-twisting rhymes. And let me tell you, tongue twisters aren't usually a problem for me, no matter how hammered I am, because like I said, I was in a drunken improv band, and my role was mainly as improv rapper guy. So if you're going to improv rap some lines while you're shit-canned, you better be able to spit a verse or two. Let me give you an example. Betty bought some butter, but it made her batter bitter. If she put it in my batter, it'll make my batter bitter. So she bought it. It's something like that. Anyway, if I had the card in front of me, I could do it perfectly. One I'll give you that actually is Moses. That's how the game ended. But let me rewind it back and get you how before the game ends. So it's me and these two girls who are apparently going to go to a movie. I don't think Mule Rider was actually playing. He was probably just drinking. So it's me and these two girls playing Pass Out. And there's a thing you can do, like you collect these Pass Out cards, and they're all with tongue twisters. She sells seashells by the seashore. Well, why the fuck would she sell seashells there? You can go get them at the seashore. She should go further inland and sell them because of, supply and demand. But I digress. That's just one of the rhymes. So, you collect these rhyme cards. That's how you win. And you have to get so many, and I was doing very well. I got to the end, and I was like one card from victory. So I needed it for the win. I end up pulling a card that says, go the amount of spaces you want to go, but take the corresponding amount of drinks. Well, I've got victory in my sights, right? So I'm like, I'll finish this trip around the board, and I'll take a whole nother trip around the board. I'll take all those drinks. I'll get 2 cards. If I can read them both, I win the game. Right? So it's like, 40-something drinks. So I'm pumping this old barrel, and it's from, like I said, probably from a Friday night party, and we're talking like Sunday night. Sitting by the window in this house. So it was fairly cold, but not the coldest. So, pumping the barrel out, we're getting in a pitcher at a time, pouring into glasses, and I'm like, I'm going to need, 3 glasses? I got to hammer, most of this pitcher to win the game. But I've got pride, so I'm going to win. I'm going to win the game. And I take them, I go around, and as I'm doing the reading, Mule Rider's girlfriend's friend decides she's going to distract me by getting real handsy-like, if you follow where I'm going. Which was distracting, but undaunted, because as I said, I was in a drunken improv band. So, she tries harder and harder to distract me, to the point where her friend is like, don't stop, don't be grabbing him there. So it doesn't work. I read the cards. I win. I get up because obviously I've just slammed 3.5 beers. I gotta go to the bathroom. So I get up. I start walking to the bathroom. This chick stops me and proceeds to start with the unprovoked makeout. Cool, right? Wrong. See, as I previously explained to you, I just slammed 3.5 ice houses that were not exactly the coldest. They had been stored just below room temperature. Actually, it's room temperature because no matter what room you're in, whatever temperature that is room temperature. And that might have been 58 in this particular room, but that's still too warm for beer. So, sitting for 2 nights, being not very good beer in the first place, slamming 3 of them after you've had many, didn't go well. So as soon as she begins the unprovoked makeouts, the stomach starts rolling. I have to bolt. I almost throw up on this chick, run to the bathroom, throw up. Holy shit. Thinking, Jesus Christ, you couldn't have botched this any worse. You know, brush my teeth, fucking mouthwash, whole deal. Like, well, now I gotta go back out there like a fucking idiot and face this chick who I almost puked on. Like, yeah, that's a good sign, ladies. If you try to make out with a guy and he throws up on you, he's totally into it. So, so I go back out and like, I'm sorry. She's undaunted. She continues. So good sign. But where's my notebook, Mr. Pants? The moral of that story was, just lose the game, or don't drink old beer. Both of those good lessons. Good lessons. But I finished my beer and I'm sure I went way past the 12-minute mark. So I better close this one down because there's more Main Street stories coming. So for Drinks with Ron, I'm Ron, signing off.